Good morning, students. Let's discuss the question paper. The first question was, name the type of triangle which always has altitude outside itself. The answer is obtuse angle triangle, because you can see in the case of any obtuse angle triangle, suppose this is the angle which is obtuse angle. You can see if you want to draw an altitude, it is coming outside the triangle. So in this case, the answer is obtuse angled triangle. Question number 2. Write the relation between profit CP and SP. Simply you had to write the relation that profit is equal to SP minus CP, because we all know when the selling price is more than cost price, we have profit, and this is the relation between these three. Now the next question number 3. Name the solid figure shown. You can see it is a prism, because we have seen that top and bottom is congruent, both triangle, and the lateral surfaces are parallelograms, so we can say it is a prism. And to name a prism, we have to see the top and bottom, which is a triangle in this case. That is why we can say it is a triangular prism. So this is a triangular prism. Then question number 4. Which two angles can be bisected in order to make an angle of 30 degree? Very obvious, we have done this in normal construction also, that you have to draw an arc like this, draw an angle of 60 degree, then you bisect this 60 degree angle and this 0 degree angle. This was your 0 degree, this is your 60 degree. You keep compass on this point, you take an arc like this, and you get the answer like this. So the answer to this question is 0 degree and 60 degree, because by bisecting these two, you are actually doing this thing, that is 30 degree. Question number 5. Write this in standard form. Many of you have done or wrote the expanded form, but the question was asking to write it in standard form. That means you have to put in the form like this: 82903. There are 4 zeros. So first of all, there is no decimal. You will keep a decimal at the end, and you will see how many places it is jumping: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So it has jumped 8 places to the left. So we can write this as 8.2903 multiplied with 10 to the power 8. Why the power 8 is positive? Because we are taking the decimal to the left hand side. If we move decimal to the right, we write the number power in negatives. Okay, now second part, 20% of 700 meters. 20% of, from BODMAS we all know of means multiply only. So we have to find 20% of 700 meters. That means 20 upon 100 of 700 meters. While you solve it, you will get the answer as 140 meters. Writing this unit is also important in the answer, and this step of showing the calculation is also important. If you just write the answer, that is not enough. Question number 7. Construct triangle XYZ in which XY is 4.5, YZ is 5 and ZX is 6. So normally we take the longest side as the base. So you will just draw ZX, write the measurement 6 centimeter. Then ZY is 5 centimeter. We will keep the compass on Z, take an arc of 5 centimeter. Then we will keep the compass radius as 4.5, and keeping on X, again an arc of 4.5 to get the point Y. Then we join these two and get the desired triangle. Also we write the measurements like this, and YZ is 5 centimeter. This is the desired answer. Now this question, many of you thought it is degree. That is wrong. This is a question of exponents and powers. 1 power 0 plus 2 power 0 plus 3 power 0 is equal to. We all know power 0 on anything gives you the answer as 1 only. So 2 power 0 is also 1 and 3 power 0 is also 1. So the answer is 1 plus 1, that is 3. So many of you have just added these numbers and gave the answer as 3 plus 2 plus 1 is 6, which is wrong. You just have to solve the exponential thing, because we know anything, even a power 0 is 1. Okay, so now question number 9. Write order of rotation and angle of rotation of a regular hexagon. A regular hexagon is a hexagon in which all sides are equal. So there are 6 sides in a hexagon. So all 6 are equal. We can see like this. We can have, first of all, there are 6 order, because if you rotate it 6 times by this angle, you will get the same figure back. So there are 6 possible order. And what about the angle? We all know the complete angle is 360 degree, and there are 6 possibilities. So we will just divide 360 upon 6. The answer is 60 degree. So if you rotate this given hexagon by 60 degree, you will get the same hexagon back. So that's it about question number 9. The answer is 6 order and 60 degree the angle of rotation of this regular hexagon. Now question number 10, you have to find the name of the congruent triangle, as well as you have to tell the criteria used. So if you see here, PQ, that is the first and second name, is equal to XZ. So we are sure that second triangle name is either XZ something or ZX something. Now what is left? The left thing is Y. So let's keep it here and check which name is correct. So you can see we have QR over here. It should be equal to YZ. So QR is second and third, and here Z and Y is second and third. Here it is X and Y, which is wrong. That means XZY triangle is the correct name for the given question. I hope it is clear that triangle PQR is congruent to triangle XZY. Many of you have written the answer as XYZ. That is wrong. The answer is XZY, and the criteria used, if you see in continuation, a side is coming, an angle is coming in between, again a side is coming. So the criteria used is side, angle, side. So these are the two answers that you have to give in this question: the triangle name and the criteria used. Third part, choose the correct option. Which one of the following is not a criterion? Angle, side angle we have studied is correct. Side angle, side we have studied is correct. Side, side, side is also correct. But side, side angle is not correct. Angle, angle, side we have studied, but not side, side angle. It is not correct. So this is the answer, option number B. Question number 12. The line segment joining the vertex of a triangle to the midpoint of opposite side is called. So we have studied in a triangle ABC. Suppose this is the vertex, this is the opposite side. If you join it with the midpoint D, you can say this is a median. This is median. Okay. So question number 13. Choose the correct option for this one. 0.007 is equal to. So we want to convert this decimal into percentage. And we know whenever we want to convert something into percentage, we just have to multiply that by 100. So if you multiply it with 100, you will get, remove the decimal, 100 will come, this will cut. The answer is 7%. So you can see, whenever you want to find percentage, you have to multiply with 100%. When percentage is given to you and you want normal number, divide by 100. Okay, so a simple rule. Question number 14, convert 2.1 in percent. Same thing, we want to convert a given thing into percentage, so we have to multiply it with 100%, and we get the answer as 2.1 was given. So let's make it 21 upon 10 into 100. 10 will cancel. The answer is 210%. Then question number 15, other name given to line of symmetry of an isosceles triangle. In an isosceles triangle, you can see like this, these two sides are equal, so you can say it is like an altitude. You can say is the line of symmetry of this isosceles triangle. That's it. So altitude. Now, true and false. Is it possible to have a right angled equilateral triangle? Not at all, because equilateral triangle, the condition is all angles should be 60°, all sides should be equal. So if all angles are 60°, how can we have one angle equal to right angle? This is false. Question number 17, 8 hours is 50% of 4 days, which is absolutely false, because 50% is like half, and half of 4 days 2 days, but not 8 hours. So again this is false. First one is false. The third one is saying in the number 7 power 5, 5 is the base and 7 is the exponent, but we all know in this is known as base and this is known as exponent. Hence this is also a false statement. An isometric sketch does not have proportional length. This is also false, because we know that isometric is actually proportional and oblique is not proportional. Okay, so this one is false. Last one is saying a triangular prism has 5 faces, 9 edges and 6 vertices. This was a very easy question to be understood, because you could have checked with this one only, and if you try to calculate, this will be correct. So this is true, the last one. Now question number 21, Juhi sells a washing machine for rupees 20,000. One second, what's wrong? Okay, so this question is from NCERT only I have changed the values. In NCERT the value was different, but let's see, the concept is similar. So what is given to you is the selling price of washing machine, that is SP is equal to rupees 20,000. She loses 20% in the bargain, so the loss percentage is 20%. Now what they are asking is what is the price she bought it, so they are asking for the cost price. So we can say it is rupees X. I'm not using the formula in the first step, I will show you the concept in the first one. So some of you have found the loss or 20% of SP. When I have told you we have to find the loss percentage or the profit percentage always on CP only, because CP is the first thing. First you purchase something, then only you sell it, na? So you find your profit or loss on the CP, not on SP. So right now this is given to you and you are going in a backward direction, so that is not that easy. So the concept should be strong in this question. So let's see how it is done. Obviously we have to find the loss value, because somehow we know the equation or the relation between these three is loss is equal to CP minus SP, because now CP is more than SP. Now the thing is we need to have loss value, but given to us is loss percentage. How to find loss value? Very simple. So let's find the loss value first separately. It is given by 20% of CP, that is 20 upon 100 of X, which is, if you solve this, it becomes 2 upon 10x. So 2x upon 10 is the loss value. Now just put the values in this equation and you will get your answer. It is as simple as that. So 2x upon 10 is equal to CP is already x and SP is 20,000. Now we know from chapter number 4 simple equations, to find the value of a variable you have to isolate it. you have two places the same variable, better you keep them together. So let's bring this x to the left hand side. It becomes 2x upon 10 minus x is equal to minus 20,000. And further solving, what will we get? Let's take the LCM 10. So 2x minus 10x is equal to minus 20,000. It will give you minus 8x upon 10 is equal to minus 20,000. So first thing that I will do is I will get rid of this negative sign, because both side negative is there. I can multiply both side by minus 1 and make it positive. After that, we all know we have to isolate the x. So 20,000 multiplied with 10 upon 8 divided. What will you get? 8 ones are 8, then 4 is remainder 40, 8 fives are 40, then double zeros, and so it gives you the value of x as, something is wrong. Okay, the mistake is in the division part. I did the wrong division. It was 20. Sorry. Let me correct this. It is 8 twos are 16, then 4 remainder 40, 8 fives are 40, and double zero multiplied with 10. The answer is 25,000. This way we have got the cost price as 25,000. If you don't like this X method, this was the conceptual way to go. But if you know the formula, that is also correct. So the formula is SP is equal to 100 upon, I think it is 100 minus loss percentage into the, sorry, this is cost price, this is selling price. This is the formula. If you apply this formula, this will also give you the answer. Let's see how. You say the CP is equal to 100 upon 100 minus loss percentage, that is 20% loss was there. So is into SP, and SP is 20,000. It becomes 100 upon 100 minus 20%, that is 80, into 20,000. Solve it and you can see both are same now. So by the formula also it is very easy. 2500, that is 25,000. If in the question CP was asked and profit was given, the formula would have been CP is equal to 100 upon 100 plus profit percent into selling price. The hint is, if profit percentage is given, we are adding it in the 100. If loss percentage is given, we are subtracting it from the denominator. That's it. So it's your choice, whichever way you want, but better way is this one, going by the concepts. Now, the last one is find the profit or loss percentage if a cupboard is bought for rupees 250 and sold for 150. Very simple. The CP is more, SP is less. So CP is 250 rupees and SP is rupees 150. Obviously it is a loss. So first let's find the value of loss. The value of loss is given by CP minus SP, that is 250 minus 150 rupees 100 is the loss. Now we need to find the loss percent, and I told you to find loss percent or profit percentage you have to use CP only. So loss percentage is given by loss value upon what? Yes, the cost price multiplied with 100. So whenever you multiply something with 100, it becomes percentage. So let's put the value 100 upon CP is 250 multiplied with 100%. So let's cut the 0. 25 4 is 100. 4 into 10 is 40% is the answer. So 40% loss is there in this last part. So I hope your doubts are covered in these explanations. Thanks a lot.